When I was walking up with Ghost Adventure, I didn't know where I was going. Zach had called me a couple of weeks before and said, we're coming to LA, we need you. Okay. And I didn't hear anything. And then I get a call, can you get downtown in 2 hours? But I'm walking up to it. But I got so depressed. By the time I got up the door, I wanted to kill myself. I was just like, I think I just want to die. And it does that to you walking by. It just, you're hopeless, this hopelessness. He's just like, okay, Patti, and there's 700 rooms, there's 14 floors, they're all open. You tell us where to go. And I'm like, I just want to die. And I coincidentally, out of 700 rooms, led them right up to a room. And then I'm going, I got to get out of here. And I go open a window.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Quest, a journey into true crime and the paranormal. And my name is Misti Gaither, and if you're new here, thank you so much for dropping by, and I know that you'll enjoy the show. So I'm excited that tonight I'm getting to talk to Hollywood psychic medium and also the Good Witch Patti Negri. How you doing, Patti?
I am great. Thanks so much, Misty. Thank you for having me on. This is fun. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. You're also an author in addition to your many things. I know that you have a couple of podcasts going on YouTube. You have channels, and I was really impressed with the interview that you did a few days ago with Andrea Perrin.
I love her so much. Yeah, that one just dropped on Monday. My regular is The Witching Hour, my regular podcast. I think I'm 4 or 5 years in. I don't even know. But Andrea was great. She's like my second star sister. She's fabulous. And then I have my funny one that we do on Wednesdays live by Witches Movie Coven, which is just silly, funny, which is talking about witchy movies, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we never agree. It's great.
Well, I noticed that Richard, and I may pronounce his name wrong, and so excuse me, Leo.
Richard
right?
Leo.
Leo,
yes, Richard
Leonard.
Never say just the first part without the second
Okay,
part.
Leo. Richard Leo.
Richard Leo, yeah.
Okay. Now, he is very interesting, and I've seen him on Ghost Adventures, and I'm trying to remember the other show that I saw him on, and he has such a technique that he does when he's communicating with spirits in his home. And I mean, it is spirit central there at his home, it looks like.
He is a dear friend. We met when he was living in LA, and I got him his first Ghost Adventures. I'm like, Zach, you have to meet my friend. You have to go to his Victorian house in Pasadena. You have to go. It's haunted, everything that you require. But yeah, he's a dear. He teaches at my school. You know, I have a school now, University Magicus, for the last 3 years, and he's one of my main teachers. He's beautiful. He's brilliant.
He really is, and I noticed that he was down, and I didn't really realize it. He was down here in New Orleans for something recently, I believe.
He lives there now.
Oh, well, there he is. I guess he is. So, boom. Well,
And
that's good to know.
Actually, I think he does readings at like Potions or one of the shops in town. He does do readings. Okay. You'll know him by his like 1932 Jaguar Mr. Satan, and him always dressed to the nines with the velvet and the top hat. You can't miss him.
Yeah, I'm so glad to know that he's in my area, so I will definitely go track him down and look him up. And I think I just really was so impressed when I watched the shows that he was in, because it's like, you know, like I said, his technique's kind of different, but he is really accurate and just so, like, you can tell that he is so gifted, and I just really, you know, resonated with that.
Well, he's part of my Witches Movie Coven too.
Right. And I think that's cool because you have like, what, 3 or 4 witches or people
yes,
in the...
Yes, we do. We have Heather Green, who actually wrote the book about witches and movies from the 1800s and on. She's works for Llewellyn. We have Jason Mankey, who's written like 10 or 11 witchcraft books. We have Corey Buckley, who's from Scared and Alone. She's one who could be scared looking at myself. And it's in Richard Leal. And it's fun because we absolutely never agree. We love each other madly. And we do the good movies, the bad movies, the old movies, and it's fun. And everybody, because it's live, we do that live on purpose. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets to join in. Everybody votes wands up and wands down.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. You know, that you have your friends there, and of course just because you always don't agree doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. And
No, it's more fun. It's always more fun when we don't agree.
Exactly. You know, you call it the Witch's Coven. Now, what did you think about American Horror Story Coven?
It was great. I loved it.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, one of my favorite. Absolutely loved it. The whole American Horror Story, the whole series is great. I of course loved Coven. I loved Stevie Nicks being there, Jessica, everybody. It's just like, yes.
That was so cool when Stevie Nicks was there. I mean, how can you top Stevie Nicks?
You can't.
Do you know of anybody like that just would walk in right now and you'd be like, they top Stevie Nicks? No.
It's crazy. I got to go to her house once years ago. And I was like fangirl. It's Stevie Nicks. It's my idol.
See, that's what I do. Patti Negri. What? You know, same thing. So for those of you who do not know, shame on you, but, you know, Patti has been in several episodes of Ghost Adventures, and she was also featured in some episodes of Portals to Hell, and among many shows that she was in. But what I really want to talk to you about is a particular episode in Ghost Adventures. Okay? I am a little bit obsessed about the Black Dahlia.
Oh.
I know. And you did a seance there.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think I've done like 16 or 17 episodes so far, like 2 a year for the last 8 years, which is not bad. But yeah, that was Zach always says that was my first episode. It wasn't. Haunted Hollywood was my first, but that was my first seance with him. That place is so dark, Misty. Talk about true crime. And I had shot another show there, which is why he brought me in. A non-paranormal show, and when you do, it was like a real estate show, but they were shooting it there, and I went to go do a seance there. That's my gig. And it was so funny seeing the crew going like, why are our cameras draining? What's going on? Why are the lights flashing? But Dr. George Hotel got a glimpse of who I was and my ability, and he literally, the second I walked in, threw me against a wall. Threw me again into art. I was so free. I was going to break some expensive art, like not my fault. Right. But so then I got to go back with Ghost Adventures, and it is that place. You walk down the street and you actually feel the evilness, and down in the basement where a bunch of it happened, the dirt basement. Yeah, it's always the dirt basement.
Yeah, stay away
that
from that.
First TV show I did there, that's where they set up the snacks and stuff. It's called craft service. It's like, really, you guys, really? Cannot you feel the torture in the walls here?
Oh my God.
No,
they set up on the dirt floor where that's where they set up at?
That's where they set up getaway snacks, like go relax in the dirt basement.
Yeah, that's a good place to relax and get that evilness all over my snacks, you know?
Yeah. That's when I was down there on Ghost Adventures, they locked the door on me. The spirit locked the door, didn't want me to go in there to the dirt part. But that alleged Dr. George Hodel, it was George Hodel, because I've channeled him. I know it's him. And even later, I was doing a true crime thing. I have a friend, oh my God, her name is Linda Deutsch. She is like she's now retired, but most famous AP crime reporter, Associated Press crime. She got famous on Charles Manson and O.J. Simpson and Michael Jackson, every big Hollywood crime. She sat there. She could call all these people. And we were doing a thing on the Black Dahlia murder. And I was my own house, which is well warded and protected. My producer was there, and this AP reporter was coming over, and we had a bunch of stuff. We had Steve Hodel, who's the son of the Black Dahlia, all his stuff. And my producer wanted to work with the Ouija board, which I've worked with safely since I was 7 years old, but we hadn't set up all of nobody was there yet. I hadn't set up all my wards I dropped the ball. All of a sudden, we're working the Ouija board, and I'm like, oh, something's off. This is not your friend we think he's talking to. All of a sudden, that doctor who he knew, he pushed me so hard, and no living human was behind, pushed me so hard into the back of my antique dining room chair. I heard this crack, crack, crack. I'm sliding down to the floor. My producer's like going, are you okay? And I'm like, no. And I'm always okay, Misty. I could have my arm severed. I'm like, it's a flesh wound. I'm fine. I'm like,
I'll shake it off.
I'll shake it off. I had to go to urgent care, and he had hit me so hard that it ripped all the cartilage off my ribs.
What? That's hard.
Yeah, he knew how to push. He's a doctor. Right. So yeah, he marked one.
Well, let me ask you something about George Hodel. Do you think he did it?
I think he did it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, I don't think they would put somebody like me in court. I've channeled him. He's been inside my body, but
Right.
he did it. And I think even if you look at just the science part of it, there's so much evidence that says he did it, that he did it. But he was politically connected. He was
Yes.
this important guy and city hall guy and knew all the right people. So somewhere in his son has written extensive books about it and how many women he thinks he killed. There's just evidence, but somebody even wrote somewhere, like from the DA's office, this will always remain an unsolved case, even though here's fact. Crazy.
Well, like George Hodel, I read the Black Dahlia Avenger book, wonderful, by his son Steve, and he was bringing in, and I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense of what is called, I think, do they call it the lipstick murders or something like that, where like would write on the bodies, and then Steve was thinking that maybe he was connected to that too. And was it someone named like Gene Sprengler or something like that that they think that he might have killed too? So it was like you had a serial killer, and that's not even talking about all the stuff that happened with Tamar and just the whole evilness. And like you said, it just seeps everywhere out of that house, I'm sure.
It does. And it was again, and almost like whatever happened affected the whole family. Tamar, I didn't get to meet Tamar, but her daughter Fauna Hodel, actually there's two Fauna Hodels. Fauna Hodel, who was the given away daughter, from Tamar's given away daughter, she friended me after she saw that first TV show, and just became friends because she just wanted, and we became like the best friends. We'd going to lunch and this and that, and she just wanted to get into that house, and because her mother Tamar had promised a spirit there that she would help her, not Elizabeth Short, another spirit. There's a bunch there. And then all of a sudden we both got a call from Ghost Adventures. Wow. And Ghost Adventures called me, and we got to do it together, which was so amazing. She's the one who wrote that movie. I think, was it AMC did the whole, or somebody did the whole, her story, her mom's story. Yeah. And sadly she got cancer and didn't live to see it. It's so funny because filming kept getting pushed back because she had a woman director, and she was like, and the woman director is so busy. It was Patty Jenkins, and she was busy on Wonder Woman, which did phenomenal, but that's who did her thing right after. So that's why, sadly, had got it done earlier, she would have been there for the premiere and stuff, but still she saw it in spirit.
No doubt about that. Now, I want to go back later. We'll go back to Ghost Adventures, but I wanted to talk, I found out something recently about you that I was like, I never knew this. What? And it really impressed me. And it was and it was good. And then it was kind of funny too, was when you were on MasterChef. And remember, and you come out and you're like, heaven and earth and everything. And the judges are just like, and then before you cook. That was cool.
I got kicked out of home ec. I wanted to prove that you could do anything if you believed you can. My whole thing is really about people knowing how amazing how empowered they are. So I had all these crazy health issues. So by the time I was 30, my doctor said if I made it to 50, which I probably wouldn't, but if I did make it to 50, I'd be in a wheelchair. And I just kind of went, no, I'm not going to get sick anymore. I stopped getting sick completely. So at 50, instead of being dead or in a wheelchair, as promised by the medical community, I did whatever they said. I said, well, I'm going to prove that we could do anything we believe we could do. This is what I'm going to get on, I'm in the middle of Hollywood, the world's biggest obstacle course. I'm going to get on Wipe Out.
I saw that.
So I beat like 100,000 people who were like half my age, everything. And I got on it, and it was the hardest, scariest, most painful, most empowering thing I ever did. I go, but if I can do this, and I'm not that athletic person, anybody can do anything. And to prove it, I went, okay, to prove it's not a fluke. Well, my husband won't let me in the kitchen. I got kicked out of home ec. I'm going to cook for Gordon Ramsay. So I went through this whole process again. My first audition at MasterChef, I was at the LA Convention Center. I was like number 5,000. And they went to every convention center in the state. So I beat a kabillion people to get on it. And I still kept going. Any second they're going to figure out, I do not even know what saute means. We were all allowed to bring 5 things from home, which most people brought. Because you are sequestered. They take away we're there for weeks. They take away your cell phone, your laptops. You can't talk to your home, your husband, family, kids, anything. Wow. But they were allowed you to bring 5 things. Other people brought, my favorite spatula or some recipe, some herbs I bought in Provence. I brought a ghost meter. Yeah. A witch's knife, a magic wand, a spirit box. I'm completely not cookie things, but I did not last long there, but I got there. And then I did it again. I just want to prove, okay, we can do anything we believe we can do and put our energy into it. That's why I'm a good witch. Good means a lot of things. I said, I have no talent. I can't cook. I got on MasterChef. And if I could do it, anybody could. So I said, America's Got Talent. I have no talent for America's Got Talent. Next thing I know, I'm rolling around on the floor, making a fool of myself with Howie Mandel. And it works. We can do anything.
Like manifesting.
Yeah, manifest. Whatever you could call it. Prayer and faith, you could call it affirmations and vision boards, you could call it spell casting and work. But you see it, smell it, taste it, you get it. I'm that big believer of that mind, body, spirit of 20,000 books. Even my book, I go there. You'll never surpass your own belief system. You just can't. Psychology. If you don't think you could do something, you're not going to do it. If you think you can conquer the world, that's the people who do. Mind, body. You got to get off the couch and take action. The spirit, though, that's the part that's not tangible that people don't know, but that's the battery that makes something happen. That's the battery. So whether it is because you went to church and prayed, that's faith, or you did affirmations and vision boards, or you did candle work or something, all of you guys out there could look at everything that you've ever accomplished, which is a lot. You're going to do this great podcast. You've believed you can do it and that you deserved it. You've gotten off the couch and taken action. And then you had some form of magic or faith or spirit behind it. The stuff we haven't quite accomplished, 1 or 2 of those things need tweaking. You don't really see yourself or believe you can do it or deserve it. You haven't gotten off the couch and taken action, or you didn't have that little spark of magic or faith. Add it and you switch it and you get it. That easy. I believe it's that easy. Right now, we have to kind of work within the law of physics, like floating up without gravity. But I think once we get into that other 90% of our brain, we're not even going to have to work with the laws of physics.
Right. Oh,
Time,
definitely.
Travel, yeah.
I really liked, it's something that you said, and I think it's possibly a class that you teach, or it is something I thought it was really cool that you said it, and it says for you to set a place at dinner for those who passed.
Oh, a dumb supper.
Yeah.
It is the most beautiful ritual. It's done a lot of places, but not in America. It's a dinner for the dead. Dumb meaning silent, not stupid. It's a backwards dinner. Pagans and witches often do it on Samhain Eve, Halloween Eve, because that's when the veil is thinnest between the worlds. That is when we celebrate ancestors. That's what Halloween really is about. We celebrate ancestors. But you could do it for your loved ones. You have to wait 40 days. It could be 40 years after somebody passed, but at least 40 days. Have dinner, set a place for them if you want, or a glass for them. Have their favorite food, your favorite food, but you have to do it backwards. So you start with dessert, and then you have the main course, and then you end up in super salad course, because that shows the other side is for them, because the other side is reversed image. It's mirror image. As you look through the veil, it's a mirror. So they'll say, oh, this is my dinner for mom, grandma, whoever. So set the place, talk like normal, like you love them, you miss them, laugh, cry, whatever you do. And somewhere during the dinner, everybody goes silent. Some people do the whole dinner silent. I think it's much more effective talking in just a couple minutes of silence, and then go silent. And that person or people, invite more dead people, will communicate with each person there to your own comfort level and your own ability. Somebody might just feel this warmth or see something through this corner of their eye or get the chills or hear something and then start talking again. And then at the end of the meal, which is the beginning of the meal, because you're up to super salad course, you have to say goodbye to their fleshly body, because that's where mourning, I mean, that's the one thing that you can't have. That's what dies. Spirit lives forever. Soul lives forever. Nothing dies. Science has proven that. Spirituality, religion's proven that. Nothing dies. But this meat suit. And we hold on to that meat suit with cords when somebody passes. Like literally, we use that terminology, cut the cord, no strings attached. In living people, we have cords that go heart to heart. With all our relationships, a little love and just cord to cord. But when somebody passes, that has to be clipped. And now it's a third eye cord. They become your spirit friend, not your deceased friend. They become your spirit parent. Your versus deceased. You can have a real relationship, third eye relationship with a spirit person versus the deceased person, where you're trying to hold on to this little meat suit. That's the one thing that's gone away. Funerals can be fun, celebrations of life, wakes, happy, sad. To me, a dumb supper, because it's intimate, the meal that we do all through life is great. You guys try it. It's amazing.
Well, it just, when I was, watching it and reading about it, it just was, to me, it was just so beautiful and so moving to be able to do that. And you were talking about how, it's a celebration of life and some, and in New Orleans that we like to celebrate death. I mean, probably one of the biggest celebrations,
You have you have a big Dia de los Muertos weekend, because the veil is thin between Halloween and Day of the Dead. The veil is thin. That's why people put on masks and light lanterns going back from old Europe, because the veil is thin.
Now you we're in a show on Paraflix called Ghost Finders.
Yes, I've done 2 episodes so far. That's my network, Paraflix. It's my streaming network. For all of you who've seen everything on Travel Channel and Discovery 3 times already, I have a whole new network. It's cheap, $3.99 a month. We have 90% new programming, all paranormal. We're adding horror. We got some really great horror films. We're adding more spirituality and podcasts and music videos, but all otherworldly stuff. In Ghost Finders, it's really fun. It's Rob Thompson. He's this beautiful English medium, this big Viking looking guy, and a great team. And there's another witch, and we really do the witchy thing. Her name is Megan Deputy, and she's been with them for years. And literally, when we go into location now, we set it up beautifully, invite the spirits in. We do magic within it. So it's different than a lot of other paranormal shows. Really going there with it.
Excuse me. Now, which place would you like to investigate that you haven't yet?
I want to get to all these places that are so famous that everybody's gone to except for me. Conjuring House, but I think I get to go there in September.
What?
And Gettysburg, which is so weird because I'm not particularly into history and I'm not at all into war, but I don't know whether I was there in a different time or something. I really want to get there. I was close to there in January or February in that general vicinity, and we really felt it in the land. But all sorts of places, like I'm getting ready in a week and a half, I'm going to do a whole witch and vampire tour of Romania, and that's going to be great, going into these ancient castles and stuff that, I live in Los Angeles, nothing is old. I go back east and there's a lot older, but here the oldest things we have are mining towns. So you go to Virginia City and Nevada City and Vulture City and see old mining towns. That's as old as we have. So I want to go somewhere really old.
You're also in a lot of Paracons, and I know that will be at my friend Sam Baltrush's. Yeah, Eddie Great. He was my very first guest on my show.
Really?
Yes.
I love Sam so much. He's
Sam
so
blessing,
much. Yes, I will be at Mass Paracon with Sam again.
Yeah.
But it last 2 or 3 years? I don't know.
Yeah. Because, you do a lot of them.
I do a lot, like 30 a year.
Wow.
I just got home from Arizona this weekend. I got 20 something more this year already. Hello, goodbye. I unpack, I repack. I wake up and going, where am I? I don't know where I am.
I want to talk to you about another location that you were featured on in Portals to Hell. Okay. And it was like, and I watched the episode, of course, several times. And I actually got to go to the place that I'm talking about. And then I was thinking of you and like where y'all would be, and like when I went on a tour, me and my wife did, and at Ernestine and Hazel's in Memphis,
Yes.
and I thought it was
It's
so
something.
cool. So cool because in the beginning, Jack and Katrina, when they were talking to, I can't think of her name, the lady that was
Yes.
mostly that they interviewed and stuff, and she was talking about how that she was sitting there at the counter, and this lady came in and gave her like, and she was the lady that was sitting at the counter. She was like really distraught about, I think, maybe a family member or something like
Her
that.
son had died or something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
And then a lady just came in off the street and came up to her and gave her, oh God, I'm trying to remember, like a bird necklace or something, a jewelry with the bird on it. And then because if you've never been to Ernestine and Hazel's in Memphis, you need to go. It is so just chock full of history, and
So much.
just it's amazing. And they actually, y'all were one of the first teams to be allowed, like where they aired it, like it was for television or something. And it's just, they have up there on the top floor, they have, I think a prostitute was killed, and they still have the
Yeah.
mirror where she was shot. And I mean, and they have like the black room and then the red room. And it was just, when I was up there, I could just feel everything. And then what was so cool, going back to the bird, is when you were on the stairs, which is creepy, the stairs are creepy there, but when you were on there, you were like, and I feel like, I don't know, I mean, I'm not saying it like word for word like you did, but like it was a fluttering, you said, like
I
birds.
said a bird just,
Yeah,
and
a bird just flew. Yeah, yeah.
I almost didn't say. It was so funny because I teach mediumship at my school. I teach, don't censor yourself. It doesn't have to make sense to you. If you censor yourself, you're going to shut it down. But all of a sudden, I'm sitting here with Jack and Katrina, and a spirit. I've never had that before. A spirit bird for in front of my safe. So when I think it was Jack said, "What just happened?" And I was hesitant when I said it. I go, "Well," I just almost threw it away because I was a bird just flew by me. I had no idea, of course, the whole bird theory of the
Right.
whole thing. Like, I'm so glad I said it, because otherwise I would have been going, "What's that?" "Oh, nothing." And then found out the whole thing was about a bird. I'd have to hit myself. So yeah, that was wild because that was my first bird ghost.
Yeah, it was actually when you said, it was like a bird that flew, and I was like, yes, because it was just so amazing, how it all tied everything in together, with what that she had said and experienced. Because you wouldn't think, like a random lady coming in off the street to give you a necklace with a bird on it. And
I
then
know.
I mean, how would you know that? And you're up there, like investigating and go doing your walkthrough, and then you're like, there's a bird that just, that's just how the
Yeah,
spirit works.
that place was so. I didn't know where I was. I never know where I am any show
Right,
because I
right.
just blind. And these both of those shows, Ghost Adventures and Portals to Hell, make sure that you do. But all I knew, they were picking me up in Texas from another event, and I was going to Memphis. That's all I knew. And I go driving around, I couldn't see anything getting in. So, and it was pretty dark when I got there. I couldn't hardly see, but you must have felt it in every room. Every room felt different. Like you said, the
Yes,
red room, the black room, bar, the stairs. It was wild.
it was. And then they have the other bar up top. I can't think of the guy's name. I think it's Nick's bar, something like that.
Something like
And
that.
yeah, and a person had like jumped out the window, or and it's just, I mean, you really have to go. If you're ever in Memphis, you really need to go and check it out, because like I said, you walk in and you can automatically feel everything.
Everything.
Yep. So let's go and talk about Ghost Adventures. And I know that you've been on more episodes than the Black Dahlia. And let's see, what else have you been on? You did the museum.
Museum. I've done a couple at the museum. I
Mm-hmm.
did one where I met my best friend, Sebastian. I was like locked in a gypsy, and I said, "There's somebody on the floor." It was him passed out in front of Bela Lugosi's mirror. And we just became fast friends. He's the one I'm doing the vampire tour with. I did the 4 hour live special, which was crazy because he always put me up. Rest in peace, Lady Snake. It was the good witch versus the bad
Yes,
witch.
yes.
Bad. The first time it was all crazy. And he's like, "Patty, I want you to meet somebody." And he took me into this room, And there was this little English woman who looked like she wanted to serve me tea, not kill me, but all of a sudden she had a shovel and wanted to kill me. I had no idea until like 2 months later when I saw it on television that that was Ed Gein, the serial killer's cauldron where he cooked people. No wonder she was being him, not her.
Right.
This was like, and then he did it again on that 4-hour live one. Everybody else knew everybody that was there. We're at the same hotel together. We were in the same like green room across the street from the museum. Everybody's there. Chris Fleming was there. Mike and Marty, Gary Galka. I mean, just everybody. Except we didn't know about her. He kept her separate. So it's Patti, my turn to go. And he's like, oh, Patti, you don't want, and this is when nobody went in the basement. He goes, you don't mind going in the basement? Yeah. Oh, and Lady Snakes. It's like, okay.
I saw where Lady Snake, when she was on the episode when they were at the Ancient Realm Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place there, talking about just chocked full of spirits and
Chock full of spirits.
yeah, and she was there, and then I was like, oh, there she is, and then when she popped back up with the good witch and the bad witch thing that y'all did, I was like, oh my God, that's Lady Snake.
That's Lady Snake. Here we are again.
Right.
Yeah. But the scariest place is the Cecil Hotel right here in my downtown LA. That place is dark.
Yeah, they did that with the Elisa Lamb episode too, and I mean that.
Crazy.
What in your professional opinion? What in your opinion do you think happened to her? Because if you look at the coverage, of her, in the elevator, how she's acting and hitting the buttons and going out, and like she's talking to somebody, and her hands are making these weird gestures and stuff, and then they find her in the water tower, and they're like, oh,
later,
yeah, it's an accident, and I'm like, oh, okay. So what do you think?
I have spent a lot of time on that roof now with another team. All I know is that she did not climb up the ladder and open that big thing and drop herself into the water tower. Yeah. She did not. And I don't, if there may have been a human there to do it to her, but she was definitely possessed. There's a spirit there. It's almost like an egregore. It's more than a sum of its parts. All this dark stuff has happened since the day it was built, and then the Depression hit. It's always been a place for the down and out, and like a flop house, and so much drugs, and so much alcohol, and Richard Ramirez and the other serial killer, and babies out window. That there's like an egregore, or some big dark evil spirit that pulls it up from the ground there. It encompasses the whole thing. So the whole energy there is worse than a sum of everything that's happened. Yeah. And that affects people. It affects living people and makes you want to kill yourself. When I was walking up with Ghost Adventure, I didn't know where I was going. Zach had called me a couple weeks before and said, we're coming to LA, we need you. Okay. And I didn't hear anything. And then I get a call, can you get downtown in 2 hours? And I'm like, 2 hours? Wait, did I wash my hair today? Did I take what? Okay. I've sent my brothers, but he didn't tell me it was the Cecil. But I'm walking up to it, and it is in Skid Row downtown. So you're stepping over. A rat didn't even want to let me in. And usually they scurry away from you, but this one would scurry whichever way I was going. I'm like, God. Are you possessed? Are you protecting me? Right. But I saw the water tower, but I got so depressed. By the time I got up the door, I wanted to kill myself. I was just like, I think I just want to die. And it does that to you walking by. It just, you're hopeless, this hopelessness. And then I get in there and I allow myself to channel from the beginning with the guys. I know that's what we're doing. And he's just like, okay, Patti. And there's 700 rooms. There's 14 floors. They're all open. You tell us where to go. And I'm like, I just want to die. And I coincidentally, out of 700 rooms, led them right up to a room. And then I'm going, I got to get out of here. And I go open a window, and Zach's yelling at me. And I didn't know why. In my trance state, it's like a dream state. I'm just going, I just have to get out of here. And I'm opening this window. He's like, Patti, sit down. Patti, sit down. And I'm like, why? He's never yelled at me before. I'd led them right to a room where somebody jumped out that exact window. And here I am opening the window. It didn't have even a screen, going, I got to get out of here. Oh my God. But yeah, that place is dark as some of all its parts.
Yeah, because I mean, like you said, like Richard Ramirez had stayed there, and I believe it was another, I can't think of his name, but it was another serial killer that also was there. And I mean, it's like the Cecil kind of beckons
completely. It affects living people. It makes you want to die or kill yourself or throw somebody out a window. And dead people, they're stuck there. They really are stuck there. I want to gather like I don't care, healer, priest, rabbi, shaman, witch, wizard, do a big hold hands kumbaya around the place, because they are moving in homeless people now, and they're already starting to do very bad things. They try to keep it out of the news. That's why they won't let paranormal people in. I was there after Ghost Adventures with a YouTube team I work with overnight, or
Yeah.
Elton Castell and the
Mhm.
TFIL overnight guys, where we had full rain again. I was in the hallway and I was channeling. I thought I was talking again, that dream state's the way I do it. And I thought I was yapping away. I was rocking. I do rock, but somebody had to put their hand behind my head. I thought I was talking. I was just talking gibberish. But Corey, who I've been working with, he goes, we should play that backwards. They played it backwards, and I was talking English backwards. That's about the wildest thing I've ever done.
And that
I
was in the
can't spell
overnight.
my name backwards.
That was in the overnight for the YouTube channel, correct? Because
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
overnight
check that
YouTube
out.
channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that one's a 4-part thing. I think I'm in parts 2 and 4.
Okay.
My friend Linda the Ghost Hunter. Yeah, that was wild. We opened a Dybbuk box from the Conjuring house on the roof.
N-
Yeah.
Nothing happening there, officer. Opening a Dybbuk box by itself, and then the Dybbuk box from the Conjuring
On the roof,
house on
on
the
the
roof
Cecil.
of the Cecil where Elisa Lamb. Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing going on there. Nothing.
nothing
Just
going on.
right. Definitely. So what do you do, because you're, involved with the spirit world so much, and what do you kind of do to kind of center yourself and kind of relax? And do you kind of like try to turn it off a little bit and kind of step back, or you just kind of roll with it?
No, no, no. I am the queen of the on-off switch since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. I used to walk around with my thumb in my hands, like opposite of sticking your thumb out. That was my off switch. I didn't realize what it was, but people used to say, "Why are you holding your hand like that?" And it was because that's my off switch. Now I don't have to do that, but on off, I picture an old life. I don't want to go to the grocery store and see people's dead ground. Your mother wants to talk to you. I don't want to be a Long Island medium. When I go to the grocery store, I want groceries. And it makes, in my witchy practice, the more you separate the two, the stronger each are. So off switch, when you turn it on, it's that much brighter, that big separation. So I am queen of on off switch. But how I get through life is nature. I go up, though I live in the middle of Hollywood, like literally right under the Hollywood sign. I go up to Lake Hollywood every day, which is a reservoir, but I'm up there walking with deers and pine trees and palm trees and counting the turtles, and
Yeah.
that's my sanity 6 days a week
Well,
when I'm in town.
let me ask you something. You said you live like directly under the Hollywood sign.
Yep.
Do you ever run into Peg? What's her name? Peg
Egg
Axel.
and whistle.
It's
Well,
Whistle. Yeah.
I live 2 blocks over from Beechwood where she lived.
Hmm.
I have not, but there is vortex. I have not done her directly, but that place has lots of spirits. We used to go up, sneak into Griffith Park at night. There's actually a vortex. I think why Los Angeles, and especially Hollywood, is where it is there is a big energy vortex, Misty, in the middle of Griffith Park, right halfway between Burbank and Hollywood, the entertainment capitals of the world. And every time I've been there, it's not marked or anything, but you would feel it. Everybody would feel it. There literally has drawn the creatives. There will be people playing guitar, actors rehearsing, lovers kissing, nuns praying and reading the Bible. And then they're jotted all down through Malibu. I think that's why Hollywood isn't 20 miles this way or 20 miles that way. And the religious, again, the right brain creative. I have 7 major religious places within a mile of my house. We have Vedanta Society, Self-Realization Fellowship, the Theosophy, a big Catholic monastery. We have the Scientologists. We have it called in writers, directors, actors, musicians, spirituality. It's these vortexes. So I think Peg Entwistle's there. All sorts of spirits are there. And more than that, there's another story that goes with it from the creating of Griffith Park, of the daughter of somebody who owned it or something like that. She's supposed to be there too. So, but I've done a few investigations, like with another one of my Paraflex teams, the Hollywood Paranormal Detectives. There's an old zoo there that anybody can go to when you come to, and it's a defunct zoo with graffiti all over, but the cages are open and the thing, and it's, you feel it. It's spooky.
And like you're right, it does make sense about you saying about the vortex and how, I mean, it's so much energy and different personalities and just Hollywood on a high, Hollywood on the low. I mean, just everything. And it's a actual, I guess, gumbo of everything put together. Yeah. Hey, everybody, this is Misti Gaither. And guess what? We have merch now. That's right. Quest, a journey into true crime and the paranormal. We have t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, just about anything that you would want has the Quest logo on it. Be sure to click on the link below in the comments, and it'll take you right to the site, and you can just pick out what you like and, buy your friends something, buy your family members something. It'll be great. Quest is sponsored by Chef Ron's Gumbo Stop. For award-winning gumbo by an award-winning chef, be sure to check out Chef Ron's Gumbo Stop. It is in Metairie. And just today, it was released that Chef Ron was named the best jambalaya in our area. So that's pretty cool. They also have bread pudding, and be sure to go and check them out. We also have the Haunted Hotel that's on Ursuline Street in New Orleans. And let me tell you, I have stayed there several times. I have investigated there several times. It is very haunted. It is where allegedly the Axeman of New Orleans stayed while he went on his murderous spree. So be sure to go on to hauntedhotelnola.com and book your stay. Book a night, book 2 nights, because you will not be disappointed. We also have Area 51 Gallery for all your merch needs. Rocket, he does our buttons and our magnets. So be sure to go in there if you have a crew, a party, an event, just whatever that you need promoted. Be sure to contact Rocket, and he will consult with you, and your event will be unique because he has unique merchandise. Louisiana Pizza Kitchen Uptown, where every Wednesday is Family and Friends Night. They have half off all adult beverages, including bottles of wine. And you know what? You can also go there on Sundays because they have mimosas and Bloody Marys that are just out of this world and at a good price too. So be sure to check out Louisiana Pizza Kitchen. It's the corner of Carrollton and St. Charles right there at the River Bend. We also are sponsored by Louisiana Spirits. It is a paranormal team that encompasses the whole state of Louisiana. So if you are needing an investigation in your home or business, be sure to contact Louisiana Spirits. They have a Facebook page, and they will take care of you. Yeah, I've been to the museum, Zach's museum, and it was really, this was like, I think 3 or 4 years ago. And I just loved it, just everything about it. And he had Peggy, the possessed doll, and you can't look her in the eyes. And even when she's on TV, I don't even look at her in the eye. I really don't. I'm like looking off and, listening to the show until she gets off.
She curses me when I'm there, because I did a seance with her on one on Deadly Possessions, which was a spin-off of Ghost Adventures.
Right.
Before the museum was even the museum. He hadn't owned it yet, and he flew me out to do a seance with Peggy the doll. So now she comes in and I'm like, hi Peggy, you look so pretty. And she's all these curse words. I'm not gonna, it's like, oh, you remember me. I love you too, don't look.
Right, my old friend Peggy. Now, is there anything that you've encountered that kind of bothers you or kind of scares you, or you're just like, I'm in control and it's all good?
Well, of course I get scared, and I'm the queen of jump scare. Give me a fake haunted house, and I'm the queen. But I do believe that this is our realm of existence. That the other side really 99.9% has to play by our rules, but we don't know that, so we give away our power with fear, anger, all those things a negative spirit wants. So yes, of course I get scared, but I have studied this my whole life. I study religion, philosophy, science, occult science, metaphysics, every belief system, the religions, what's a jinn, what's a this. So with my belief systems that we are in control, of course I get scared, but I always think I can handle everything. And because I think I can handle everything, therefore I can handle everything. Believe me, I have protection stuff. I'm big on sigils and symbols. I have, like, right here next to me, I have a great big helmet. Wait, my favorite protection sigil. It's
Oh,
an
there you go.
eight-sided cross, the rune, the helm of Eye. It's like, I literally have underpants with that on it. That's my power panty line.
Your
So
power
I do all
panties.
sorts of protection.
Right. You had to put them on the market with Patty's power
Power
panties.
panties, they are.
Yeah.
I've been doing that with movie stars and
Hmm.
fancy people for like 20 plus years. And just this year, I'm still doing a soft launch on it
Oh,
because change your underwear, change your life.
yeah, you're right. So everybody, thank you. You know what, Patty, it's been such a joy to speak with you. We kind of talked about so many different subjects, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you'll join us again. Um, we'll have another discussion.
I would love to. You're a beautiful host, so thank you.
Thank you. And so everybody, thank you so much for watching the show, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you then. Good night.